Up+Adam.
Tractor systems are offline.
We are Beyond FM.
Beyond FM.
The future of broadcasting is here.
Up+Adam with Adam Montiel. It's community content from Concentrate. It's Up+Adam with Adam Montiel.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Yes, some say life is just where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Thursday, here we go. Let's do this. Thank you so much for being Up+Adam. My name is Adam Montiel. Excited about the show today. You know, when someone's music doesn't just play, but it pours. That's Damon Castillo, a Central Coast staple and a storyteller. Whether he's headlining the Jingle Jam or setting the vibe at a beachfront Mother's Day concert, we'll talk about all that, or just making magic in the studio. I mean, Damon just isn't making music. Dude is making his mark. And today we're catching up with the man behind the sound of San Luis Obispo. We'll talk about the real stories behind the songs, how inspiration hits, and what's hiding in his iPhone voice memos, to the one moment that helped define his latest work. If you've ever tapped your steering wheel to one of his grooves or been moved by a lyric you didn't see coming, this conversation with Damon Castillo, definitely for you. He's just a great guy with a really exciting story. Don't forget, last chance to get to AdamMontiel.com and win tickets to Paso Wine Fest. We're running out of time here. Paso Wine Fest coming up Saturday, May 17th. Joel told me I've been saying May 18th like every day. Saturday, May 18th. No, that is not right. What are you doing, Adam? It's Saturday, May 17th. I apologize for that, for any confusion that I caused getting that wrong and goofing that up. So PasoWine.com, if you want to get your tickets, you can actually use the promo code ADAM. I know it's late in the game. They just put a promo code up. Saves you $20 though on tickets. They're not cheap, but saving you $20. That's gas. That's food. There you go. Thanks to Paso Wine for hooking up the promo code. Again, just use Adam. But you can also go to AdamMontiel.com. Try and win your way in. All right. Bang the Drum Brewery. This is a bummer. It's a fun place on Laurel Lane and Slow. Is this still the Lowbro neighborhood? I think it is. Well, it was officially locked out of its home yesterday. No final pint, no toast, not even the trivia night that they were planning on doing, I think today or yesterday, or I don't know. The city of Slow slapped a big old unsafe to occupy on the door. Super bummer, citing unfinished construction and calling the building the greatest known public safety threat in the city's built environment. That's not extreme. That's according to the city's own chief building official. Oof. Owner Noelle Dubois, I hope I'm saying her name right, posted a heartbreaker of a video on Instagram yesterday saying they were blindsided by the timing. Quote, "We were under the assumption we had until Friday," she said, tearing up. It was super sad. But suddenly it was the city versus the landlord versus the business, and Bang the Drum got caught in the crossfire, I guess. The brewery had a goodbye week planned, trivia, karaoke, the whole deal, and now it's all just done, gone. Perishable goods prepped, beer ready to pour, nowhere to serve it. Dubois says they're going to regroup and figure out what the next steps are. But for now, the beat is stopped. Bang the Drum, no more, no encore, no curtain call, just one last message on the sandwich board outside. It says Bang the Drum closed. I reached out to Noelle I'd love to chat with her, do an interview with her, see where she's coming from, what she's thinking. You have a memory there? Well, their trivia night was fun. Great vibes there with the trivia night. And a lot of people really dug that place. Every time I was there, I loved it. Bang the Drum. Beer was all right, but they brought in other beer. And they brought in a lot of other cool, they brought in some great wines. Love their wines that they had. So I'm definitely going to miss that place. She seemed like she had a really cool vibe too. I feel like I've met her maybe a few times at things there, but I don't know Noelle very well, but I'd love to interview her. Love to let her, get her story out there. So it's definitely sad. My heart goes out to her because that is not easy. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, it's safe to say you're not allowed to compare your boss to an evil Sith Lord anymore, even if it's totally accurate. A woman just won a big settlement after one of her coworkers compared her to Darth Vader. Yeah, Lorna Rook was working as a supervisor at a blood donation center when a handful of people on her team took a online personality test. They did it for fun. It was a Myers-Briggs test with a Star Wars theme, the type of jokey thing you kind of see on BuzzFeed. And it was supposed to tell you which Star Wars character you were. So she was on the phone and wasn't around to take the test herself. So one of her coworkers answered the questions like for her, like on her behalf. Then announced to everyone that Lorna had Vader-like personality traits. And the test actually spun it in a nice way. It said being a Darth Vader meant you were a very focused individual who could bring teams together. Okay. But Lorna said it made her feel very unpopular at work. She quit the next month and then filed a lawsuit. Seems pretty normal. A judge just heard the case and basically ruled that it created a hostile work environment. Okay, there you go. They said Darth Vader is a legendary villain of the Star Wars series and being aligned with his personality is insulting. And they awarded her just under $40,000. Cha-ching. Get offended, get paid. Pretty funny. Well, we certainly wish Lorna all the happiness in the world. And I want to get into this conversation with Damon Castillo. First, the Olive and Lavender Festival happens just a couple days from now, this weekend. Saturday, downtown City Park in Paso, about to smell real good. 4th Annual Olive and Lavender Festival, May 10th, 10 to 4, completely free, totally free. They're going to have farm fresh lavender, everything. You can stick lavender in it, make it smell like lavender. They're doing it. Don't miss the live copper still demo from our friends at Hambly Farms. That's where the magic happens. Love those guys. Again, completely free, fresh. It's very Paso. The Olive and Lavender Festival. Get all the details in the show notes, or you can go to PasoRoblesDowntown.org. I made an Instagram reel on it yesterday. You can check it out. Olive and Lavender Festival. This Saturday, May 10th in Paso. Completely free again. Check it out. Come hungry.
It's Up and Adam with Adam Montiel.
All right, he's one of the most beloved and versatile artists on the Central Coast. His sound is as smooth as it is sincere, and his lyrics, well, they hit you right where you feel it. Whether you've caught him live with the full band or just kind of vibed out to one of his tracks in your headphones or maybe seen him just behind a guitar, Damon Castillo has a way of making you feel like that song was for you. He was the first artist I called and the very first to say yes for our Jingle Jam and our Breaking and Entering Christmas last year. And that event was such a success and in large ways because of his energy. Today we're talking music, meaning, where it all comes from. Damon Castillo is going to sing for us and kind of weave in and out of conversation. It's just a great chat. Damon Castillo. Up and Adam like you've never heard him before. Some flavor. Damon Castillo, thank you so much, dude, for being Up and Adam. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, Adam.
Thanks
for having me.
Good. So, I first was just like last week listening to this new single of yours.
Yeah, Algorithm.
It's so good.
Thank you so much.
I'm super. And you know what I love about you? It's like you harken back to everything I used to love about like Kool and the Gang, Tower of Power, just like funk, soul, character, and then man, those instruments.
I love. My main vibe for this song was like, doing like kind of old school shuffle groove that you don't hear out as much, and I was just really inspired by really Stevie Wonder and what he does on the clavinet. I was like trying to like. What's
the clavinet?
Clavinet is an instrument that was made by Hohner, and it's a keyboard instrument. And think of Superstition. That sound on Superstition is that clavinet. And so I was just trying to like cop that kind of vibe on a guitar. Yeah. And trying to get that little groove.
Yeah. A little sass almost.
Yeah. And then, so getting that groove going, and then, I just had some buddies over.
So this is that clavinet kind of.
Yeah, I just wanted to do it on guitar and get that shuffle groove going. I invited my buddies over to sing with me. Larry, KB.
Yeah. Oh, really?
He's doing vocals on this.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he's doing the gang vocals with me and with Gabriella Welch and Janine Coder, Larry Kim. So that was a lot of fun.
Was that your first time working with KB?
No. Well, actually, I'm trying to think. Yeah, probably. I had him and the guys over before, but yeah,
before Breaking and Entering Christmas, before the Jingle Jam.
So
you've known him for a minute.
Yeah.
Does he feel like he jumped on the spot quick? Like he's all of a
so
sudden,
great.
He's awesome. He's the soul like that.
He's so soulful.
We need here. Yeah, I love it.
He's such a great hang, just and a good guy and a great artist. Yeah.
Do you agonize over songs like these? Like, okay, this one part. Like when you listen to this now, do you still hear what's wrong with it?
This one, actually, most of the time I do. This song hits differently for me, and I think
you're happy with it.
I'm happy with
so
it.
Good for
and
you.
The horns on it, like with Dave Becker came in, and I said, "Hey, Dave, can you do a little horn arrangement for it?" He's like, "Yeah, okay." And he came back to the studio, and when we cut the horns, he's like, "Okay, it's gonna sound a little weird, but I arranged a horn section, but it's 4 tenor saxophones." So, okay, because he can play all the saxophones.
Yeah.
Baritone, tenor, alto, soprano, he plays flute, he does everything. But he came with this crazy arrangement with 4 tenors, and it worked. It worked really well. So I love hearing him, and I love hearing the gang vocals.
Another thing I'm questioning, do you agonize over the lyrics, or do you agonize over the instrumentation more?
Ooh. Okay, yeah. Initially, it's probably... It's both.
Is it?
Yeah. It's usually like, when I'm writing it, agonizing over the lyrics, I usually come up with something that I feel like is kind of getting close to something good, and then I show it to my brother, and then he's like, "No, man." And then
he gives it to you real.
And then I get all mad and upset, and then I have to rework it, and ultimately he's giving me that good tough love.
Yeah.
And I find something that works better. And then, during the production, during the recording and mixing phase, then, I labor over every detail.
Yeah, and you're just like, what are we going to put here? Oh, this here.
Yeah, this is just like a first take guitar solo. I didn't labor on this one. I just like, what sound is this? Cool.
I love the callbacks.
Okay.
That's Gabby, KB, Larry.
No way.
I want the real
Janine,
thing.
yeah.
Real thing. I need the real thing. Real thing. Alright.
I like those gang vocals.
Yes.
Like that were on like Cameo records and stuff too.
Oh, right.
And
I need the real.
I just it's so much fun. Like this song, callbacks make it fun. They get you into it. And you know what? You are going to have so much fun singing this. Concerts in the Plaza when you have that big crowd.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah.
That's fun. You just did this thing with Downtown Slow where people were vying for a spot to open up for your spot.
Well, yeah. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they had openers selected for all the concerts in the Plaza except for mine. And I think they had a lot of interest and a lot of applications and stuff. So they decided, hey, let's get a bunch of these artists together and we'll do like a battle of the openers. And we were at Libertine, and
that was cool.
All the artists were incredible. I was like, we got to start our own super band with all you.
I was pulling for Elise. I know her well. She's
so good.
Isn't she talented?
Yeah, I produced a couple of tracks for her.
That's awesome.
And she's wonderful to work with, and she's great. She's studying back in Berkeley, and yeah, she's great.
So when I think about why the Breaking and Entering Christmas Jingle Jam worked so well last year, one, your name was the top of my list to call. You were the first person I reached out to. Thus, you were the first person to say yes. And it was just so awesome, and I can't thank you enough for like how you just put that out there and blessed us with, you being there. And then so many of supporters of yours, folks that love your music, came out that night. I mean, I know that. Why does showing up for this community matter so much to you? Because you do it a lot. And what does it give back to you in return?
Well, as an artist, I mean, we are so lucky to live here. Yeah, I've been blessed to make a life of music and live in paradise at the same time. It just seems like I got too lucky. Yeah. So anytime I can help out and pitch in, and when you called, I was like, yeah, let's do this. And I'm just honored that you would think of me. So
it was a great night, wasn't it?
it was so wonderful. And it was the other thing that was so great about it as an artist, like you're working, you don't get to see everybody else play. So Josh and Michael Venia and Brianna, and like everybody sounded so wonderful, and Kenny. And so it was just so fun to be around everybody, and we were all like, "Oh, this is so cool." And KB, he's so.
What was so cool is like what people don't even know. They come there and they hear what they hear that evening, and there were so many that's like, "Oh my god, I got so many great, so much good feedback on it." But what they don't understand is like, you guys were all in your studio 2 days before that, a night before that, and you guys put in hours into just like, what should we do? And I love being that fly on the wall and just like watching you guys all create and just, in such this loving kind of way. It was really fun to be a fly on the wall and watch that kind of go down.
So great to have you hanging at the studio with us all. Yeah.
That studio you got, that is really, really sweet. I mean, you got your own situation there, your own studio. You produce for others. You're like this musical ecosystem here unto yourself. How did that come about? And how did you go like, okay, if I'm going to do music and I'm going to do music as a career, I'm going to do it my way. It's going to be this way.
Yeah. So initially, I was just wanting to write music, perform. And that spot actually that you're talking about, Laurel Lane, I've been there since 2000. So 25 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And initially when I found that space, it was just a place that I wanted to have for me, just to rehearse, record my band. And I shared it with my brother, and it wasn't really open to outside sessions and stuff. And I was busy. But what happened over the years was people would say, "Hey, I heard your record here, can you help me record this?" And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah. And it was so much fun, and more people just would come by and say, "Hey, can you help, can you produce this record for me?" And so it really grew organically. It was nothing that I was like, brilliantly planning.
Yeah. But I mean, you're in this business. I mean, you're doing things that end up with like Starbucks, Target. Like you've worked in this business producing things, whether it's, I don't know if it's riffs, jingles, writing. I'm not even sure. But
yeah, the licensing stuff is another part of it. And that's something that I didn't really plan either. But I did have friends that were in the business. And initially it was like, okay, I have these instrumental tracks that I produced for my own records. Can I find some placements for those? And then it grew into like, my brother, like collaborating with my brother and just making a bunch of music that wouldn't necessarily make our own records, but just like fun stuff that we thought, okay, this would be fun to just make. And then it grew, and then we would place that with music houses, and then we get some licenses. And you mentioned like, we've done like Welch's and Olive Garden, Target, PayPal, Miller Lite.
Are those good paychecks? I mean, that's got to be pretty cool to work in that ecosystem, right?
Yeah, the licensing is lucrative, and it can be. It's a competitive thing. So I kind of like that too, because oftentimes you'll be competing with a bunch of other composers, and you'll get
bidding on something, like bidding on a gig.
Yeah, like an advertiser will, like, let's say Miller Lite wants music for this commercial. Yeah. The ad company will come up with a brief describing, okay, what the vibe is. They might have some references to other tracks that they really like, but ultimately, and they'll take that brief to a music house, and a music house will kind of shoot it to some composers that they feel might be the right fit. Yeah. So like for like kind of vintage soul stuff, I'll get those kind of requests. And like for the Miller Lite, they're like, the company that I work with for that one is a company called The Elements. And so they're like, here's the vibe. And then, I'll just come up with a couple of ideas, flesh them out, record them. Oftentimes the turnaround is super quick. Sometimes it's like
a day,
24 hours.
Yeah.
On the custom jobs like that, maybe 48 hours.
And are you just like, when you're saying, quote, come up with something, are you being like melody, instrumentation, or like
coming up
lyrics,
with
everything?
Yeah. Well, most of the time it's, you're like coming up, they want to hear something that feels like a song, that feels like a track, that has authenticity. And it can't smell like ad music or anything like that.
It can't have a jingle.
No, it can't be a jingle. It has to feel like a real record.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that will include lyrics and vocals, and sometimes it's just an instrumental, especially if they're going to have voiceover over the top of it.
Yeah, maybe you going like, yeah, I don't know. You could do like little ad libs or something.
Yeah. And so that stuff is really fun, and it's really challenging, and oftentimes, like super quick,
Were you always the dude just like being able to pick up a guitar like when you were a kid and like impress girls with it? And I can't imagine what a life is like, one, like looking like you, but then two, but being able to noodle on a guitar and sing for a girl. Like, is that almost like an evil superpower that you have? Like when you were younger?
I've never used it for evil. No, when I was a kid, so my folks split up, and my twin brother Dominic and my mother, we moved in with my grandparents up in Modesto, California. And my mother, we were probably 5 or 6. My mother took us down to this guitar shop called Guitar Party, and Marge ran Guitar Party, and she just got us a couple little guitars, and she just thought it would be something fun for us to share as kids and growing up, and we often would beat each other over the head with them, and then occasionally strum a chord.
When did you know you could sing though? Like, I can carry a tune. I got runs. Like, I mean, was it just as you would listen to things and emulate them? Like,
one day I will be able to sing, but the singing, like, for me,
do you struggle with that? Do you struggle with like?
I was a reluctant singer.
Yeah,
reluctant singer.
John Mayer was like that.
Yeah,
where he would say, really had to try hard with singing. Like guitar, I could do it. Came easy, fine. But the singing, I really struggled with it.
Yeah, for me, when I was a reluctant singer, and it was like, because no one else is singing. Okay, I'll do it, kind of thing. And it's something that I've worked hard at, and I finally feel like, okay, yeah, I can sing my songs. I'm kind of comforted by the, I think it was Elliott Smith who said, I don't have to be a great singer. I just have to be able to sing my songs.
Yeah.
And, ultimately, I'm in the emotions business. And so I don't have to be a gymnast or an athlete. I just have to be able to share that emotion and get that over to somebody.
Yeah. I mean, Taylor Swift is not a great singer.
Yeah.
Carrie Underwood, Celine Dion, Josh Groban. I mean, there are beautiful voices where you can put a phone book in front of them and they will sing a beautiful note that will pause everything going on inside you. But there are a ton of people who have, Taylor Swift's got a great voice.
Yeah.
I love your voice. I love when I hear you do, anytime I hear you kind of channel in some of those like R&B or runs or things like that. I love that stuff. So I really like your voice, but it's so interesting. We all have this, or maybe not we all have this, but I think to some extent we can all struggle with it. But this imposter syndrome where we feel like, I don't belong here right now.
That's true.
Isn't that funny? And it's wild to think.
Yeah. And the people that don't have that, I think they're probably pretty crazy.
Yeah. Maybe you're right.
I don't know.
Maybe you're right. So we have a lot of gigs coming up in the near future, starting with Mother's Day.
Mother's Day, yeah. Yeah, the 11th, we're going to be back in Pismo Beach at Dinosaur Caves Park. We've been doing this for a number of years. Yeah. And it's kind of been, it's a tradition now. And last year, I got super sick and I wasn't able to perform. So I'm really happy to be back this year.
Oh, man, what does an event do when they get the call, Damon sick, you can't? That must be, you're throwing people into
I feel so
serious
terrible.
Depression.
Actually, for that gig, we got some friends to step in, and they delivered. They're great.
If we were to like swoop through your voice memo app on your phone, a lot of half-sung ideas and melody fragments. Is there a lot going on there?
Yeah, it's a mess. And oftentimes it's either like little music ideas or little recordings that I made of my daughter. Oh, really? Yeah. Because like whenever I need to pick me up, I'll like go back and like, there's the recording I made of her voice when she was 1 or 2. Yeah. Or giggling and stuff. But yeah, there's a mess of recordings of song ideas that I still need to pick up.
Lots of things have changed over the years, like just the ability where you can have this little thing in your pocket, record my instrument, type some ideas in, and then just revisit them later.
Yeah, like I actually, I have a studio right around the corner from my house. Yeah. And I messed around with GarageBand the other day, and I wrote this new song just with a beat and a few tracks in GarageBand.
Really?
And it's kind of strange because I have a really well appointed studio. But,
You certainly don't need GarageBand.
No.
Do you have it on there right now? Is it just like?
It's not playable yet.
It's not playable yet. Okay.
But soon it will be. But for me, it was just like, it was like a different process, just freshening it up.
Yeah.
And doing something different. And
Also, that same device in our pocket now connects us with our fans in ways that was completely unheard of 20 years ago. With not just the ability for, not just socially, with social network platforms, but the fact that this app, Spotify, can put your music in a playlist right next to, if I want to hear, Kendrick Lamar or, Celine Dion, whatever I want to listen to.
Yeah.
This one device puts Damon Castillo, Moonshiner Collective, all my artists, whoever they are, right next to each other.
It's amazing. Okay, so I'm of two minds about this, right? Because as a consumer of music, it's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
It is like, I absolutely love it. As an artist, it's streaming.
Well, it doesn't you don't make anything from it.
No,
it's horrible.
It's destroyed recording music.
It's insulting. Yeah. Well, do you want people to go spend $17.98 for a CD at the store? I mean, because that's what we were doing before,
right? Yeah.
Or we were stealing it with Napster.
Yeah.
And not paying anything. So what is the? I mean, as an artist, what is the best cherry world?
I think there's a future. I'm hoping that culturally we get to a place where we still have access to the world's music, but somehow the value is placed back into it. Because I think because it's so ubiquitous and so easily to get, kind of the value of it's been devalued, right?
Yeah.
So how do we bring a culture forward that really values recorded music? Because I mean, I'm making records every day at the studio, and wonderful artists are coming in there, and I want them to be able to continue to make their art.
Yeah.
And I want to see a world where it's not getting harder; it's getting easier for.
Yeah, you know what I think devalues it in another way is that, like, you look at someone who does want to get picked up. I love the idea that you can go push it out independently, but if you do want to get picked up by a label or something, the first thing the label is going to ask you has nothing to do with your music. They're going to want to know about your social following.
Yeah.
How many people you got on X? How many people you got on Insta? And you're using Twitch? Like, they want to know they want to know your social portfolio. That is more important than the talent you have. And that to me is just like, that is a kick in the stomach for you guys.
Well, yeah. It's because, like, what do they do anymore? I mean, they used to actually do provide a function, do a job about promoting and breaking artists.
Yeah.
And that might be, it's certainly changed over the years.
Totally.
It could have been one record, but artists used to get 2 or 3 records to develop and stuff.
Yeah.
Now the record companies, I don't know what they do other than insert themselves in as a middleman between an artist and their fans. Yeah, I don't know.
And then you wonder where the album went, because I feel like with the way that I love a good album, album arrangement, track arrangement, keys, the journey of driving a half hour, turning around and coming back and hearing this whole piece. And we can all think of albums in our head that was like, oh, that's a great album.
Yeah, you want to play it from top to bottom.
Yeah. And now it's like, maybe you guys are kind of being pigeonholed. Well, maybe it's EPs. Maybe stick out a couple singles here or there. How has that changed the game?
Well, Spotify has incentivized people to release singles, and it's because of their editorial playlisting and stuff. So, like, you can submit a song to be considered for an editorial playlist on Spotify every 4 weeks or whatever. So it incentivizes an artist to release singles instead of full-length albums. But I'm still... I do a mix of singles and albums for artists at Laurel Lane, and there's a lot of artists that like, no, man, I want to do an album. And it's gotten to the point where, like, okay, we're doing an album, and they might release it. They would do what they call a waterfall release, where they'll release a single, another 4 weeks a single, another 4 weeks a single, and then maybe the album, or they might just... Yeah, you can do it different ways.
Or be like Beyonce, be like, I dropped it 15 minutes ago. Yeah, it's there right now. You have the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's so interesting, the psychology of it all, and how the changes in the game and in the business have kind of spurred people to kind of react and pivot in different ways. So we have this new single. It's out now. And then how do you kind of gauge, like, the reaction to it? Are there ways in real time to see, or do you just need to wait till you get on stage and see what fans of your music think of it?
Yeah, that's that. I mean, for me, I don't really concern myself too much with the metrics and like trying to see. Yeah, I just like to play for fans and play with the band. See how like we had a rehearsal last week and the band was having so much fun playing the song. So for me, that's kind of where it's at, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you studied music. You've worked with, you've worked with big people in this biz, with Grammy winners. You're doing high-end corporate, licensing, things like that. But you still call Slow home. What keeps your compass pointed here? And why didn't you never... Dave Hovde was in that stool, a couple of weeks ago talking about KSBY. And I asked him, why didn't he chase a bigger market with the talent he has? And I'm kind of thinking the same thing to you. Why did you love living here so much that chasing a bigger market didn't matter to you?
I think it's because I was already doing stuff that I loved. I guess if I felt unsatisfied, I was still going like when I got the studio here, I was still making records, but I had a production deal that led me to New York. And when I was in New York, I was recording a lot. I got new management over there. I got a publishing deal with Warner Chappell. And so I was still kind of
bobbing around.
Yeah, bobbing around. But San Luis Obispo has always been home.
Yeah.
And it's a hard place to leave. Man.
I know. You're telling me, in my industry, you just go from market to market until I figured I'd be back in LA where I grew up, and that's where I would end up. And when I moved here, I just, again, like you just said, you don't want to leave. The people, the place, it's just so beautiful. The people are so beautiful. And it's just, do you remember the first song that you wrote, or like the first legit song? You're like, ooh, that's something. Like, this is what I'm going to do now.
I don't, because I was just a kid. I wish I did. I wrote a lot of I just remember in high school being in the garage with my brother and our bandmates and just doing some really bad punk stuff.
Yeah, you do like punk music?
Yeah. I would get like punk and reggae hand-me-downs from my older brother and stuff. But we kind of got exposed to everything. My mom loved R&B and jazz, and so we'd always listen to that. And we actually had this jukebox in my home that had a bunch of 45s, and it was like what Spotify is now.
Yeah,
it's just like shuffle, just crazy, just left turns everywhere. Yeah.
What's it like having a twin?
I don't know any other way to live.
Well, I guess you're right.
But I'll tell you this: I feel like the luckiest guy in the world because I can.
Do you feel like it's like literally another you, like because there's no clothes? You're not identical, I don't think.
We are.
You are?
Yeah, but
I can pick you apart though.
The older we get, the less we look alike.
Yeah. He does obviously guys look a lot alike. I wouldn't have guessed identical.
I'm a little cuter.
Yeah. So are there ever times where like your twin can be just like, oh, I just need to have my own me. And I feel like that you're too much like me. Do you ever feel closed in by it?
Not like that. No, I think at least how I feel about it is I think I feel so lucky that I can like look over at his eyes and we have an immediate understanding of like what's going down in this room.
That's so cool.
Or just be able to like, yeah. And we are our own persons. But I will say this, like it was hard for me when we kind of went our separate ways. It was really hard. In fact, we had come back from Boston and from Berkeley, and my brother was going to go study out in Santa Fe at St. John's and read all the great books. So he basically read, all the great books of, Western civilization, and just really smart guy. But the night before he was going to be heading out, I was like, I don't feel so good. And the next morning I could barely get out of bed, and I was having like a massive anxiety attack, and I wasn't conscious of it. Yeah. I was cool with it, but deep down, it was obviously like something that was really, really hard for me.
Yeah.
Because up until that point, we were always together.
That's so interesting. That just inherent connection. Did you guys ever like punk people and prank people back in the day?
When you're a twin, at least in our case, like you never had to go out of your way to plan or pull off anything. It just like it always happens. Yeah. It always happens. I will say this. He did one time, like I left, he came into my classroom in 4th grade and sat in my chair.
Yeah.
And the teacher never, he got tired of waiting because nobody could pick up.
Yeah, that's so good.
But one time I went actually, when he was graduating from St. John's in New Mexico, I was cruising around Santa Fe down in the plaza, and a bunch of Johnny's, a bunch of his classmates were cruising by, and I was by myself, and they were like, "Hey, Dominic," and I was like, "No, man, I'm actually Damon. I'm Dominic's twin brother." Oh, you're full. I could not convince him. And so you kind of quickly learn, just like, if you get called Dominic, just kind of roll with it. Yeah, just roll with it.
Was there ever any like little jealousy that would work between or back and forth, or like things you would struggle with? Did you ever have to compete over a girl, or were there friends that you felt maybe a little bit more possessive over? Like,
we have different taste in ladies.
Yeah, do you? But like, hey, Derek's my friend, and he's or nothing like that. I don't know.
No. In some ways, this is kind of strange, but I remember being a kid and you're like, people would say, you're never going to be lonely because you always have your brother. And it's like, actually, we can be lonely together. In some ways, yeah, you can. It's like, yeah, you can feel like kind of one being at times.
Yeah, sure.
But
do you guys harmonize beautifully?
We like to sing together. Yeah,
but like harmonize. Like, is it great? Does a note become even more like freaking crazy when it's done by twins, like a harmonic note?
Well, you've heard of like blood harmony, when families sing together.
Oh, okay. Because I haven't, but that's amazing.
There's like a timbre that families can share and stuff. And so oftentimes the voices blend really well together.
Oh, it's so cool.
And so I like to sing with him. And his guitar playing, I just like, man.
What would you want to play today? If we have a guitar in hand, I'm so excited to have you play something.
I want to let me grab this other guitar.
Yeah, I love that you brought plural guitars. That's so gangster.
Yeah, I just like.
And tell me the impetus behind this. Noodle around this as we talk about it, and then tell me the impetus behind this song.
Yeah, this song. Waking up from the fire of a fever dream, I meet the morning with my soul in the key, see, and the memory echoing the melody. Feet on the ground, walking around, right here, right now, at the moment of truth. There's a beautiful smile with a missing tooth. There's blood and bone and an empty throne and a barefoot mile, but I'm not alone. I'm gonna sing out, I'm gonna sing out, I'm gonna sing out. I'm gonna bring out, I'm gonna bring out, I'm gonna bring out. Ooh yeah, I'm gonna sing out, I'm gonna sing out, I'm gonna sing out. I'm gonna bring out, I'm gonna bring out, I'm gonna bring out a blue sky. Goodbye, gray life. Blue sky. I give you the sunshine. Head up, hands out, catching every surprise I can recognize. And with my brand new eyes, there's a red wheelbarrow and a dog in the sun with an instinct cocked like a loaded gun. There's a beggar, there's a crashing waves with the rhythm and the rhyme of an endless maze, and a beauty so gritty that it makes me choke. A mystery, a practical joke. I'm gonna sing out, I'm gonna sing out, I'm gonna sing out. I'm gonna bring out, I'm gonna bring out, I'm gonna bring out. Ooh yeah, I'm gonna sing out, I'm gonna sing out, I'm gonna sing out. Yeah, gonna bring out, I'm gonna bring out, I'm gonna bring out blue sky. Ooh yeah, goodbye gray life. Ooh, blue sky. I give you the sunshine. Ooh, blue sky. Goodbye, gray life. Blue sky. I give you the sunshine.
Castillo. That song does. There's hope in that song.
Yeah,
I love that. That is awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you have a favorite guitar?
It's kind of whatever guitar I'm playing in the moment.
Is it?
Yeah. They're like, I have a bunch at the studio, and they all have their little strengths, and they're like little tools to get you where you're going. Yeah.
When you can I ask you about One Life Stand?
Yeah.
If I was going to ask about that, would you need another guitar?
Yeah, I can just grab this guy.
Yeah, grab that guy real quick. Because I just want to ask about how that came to be from a writing standpoint and a music standpoint, because the way that song builds, I love songs that kind of build lyrically. Yeah. And of course, you are good with the wordplay and everything, but I'm so curious. And I think that might be one of definitely a fan favorite for people, right? I mean, people love that song.
Oh, yeah. I get a lot of people that will come up to me and like, that's my story.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Or yeah. And I've had, fans that like have called me up or called my agent up and like, hey, can you please surprise my wife at our wedding and play it? So I've done that before
a bunch
too.
of times.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, that is so good. That must feel so neat to like just be walking down or wherever you're doing, presenting yourself, and then you get into this chorus, which you'll hear in a second. It's just so pretty. But take me to how like the chorus built, how you wrote that. Did it all come together like in 20 minutes, or did you agonize over that?
Actually, this one came together like probably within an hour, because I had gotten this little Boss, what is it called? Little 505 drum machine, and I was just like kind of messing around with the drum machine, and I had a little beat going, and then the chords, I basically said, okay, I'm gonna write a simple 3-chord song, and I did, and then I added like 10 more chords to it, because I can't be contained.
Right.
No one. Yeah,
you're not going to contain Damon.
So it initially started off with like, okay, I'm just gonna write a simple song, and then it just came together. Yeah.
And you don't even know what you're about to get hit with the chorus, because the verses are so sweet and so conversational and so relatable. You're talking about the toilet seat being down. You're talking about wearing my T-shirt and how good you look in it and how all these things, and they're so just like uber relatable in my opinion. But then like this chorus, and I want you to play the chorus and then and how it builds and then kind of evolve, and tell me how that all came together.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's just kind of a story. Yeah. I'll play you this and then chime in. Yeah. I'm so sorry, I forgot to put the toilet seat down. I'm not used to having girls around. When at least you didn't drown. You can use my toothbrush if you want, and wear my T-shirt to the store. Oh yeah, it never looked so good before. Yeah. Well, a one-night stand turned into a one-week stand, turned into a 1 month stand, turned into a 1 year stand. Now I'm standing here in front of you, making one last stand. Baby, let's make this a one life stand.
Now, when you take that chorus, I just love that so much. Keep going, just keep playing. When you take that chorus, though, and you come in and it evolves, and then you get into the bridge, and then like you go, okay, this time it's such a simple and sweet chorus, but it's got to get bigger. And does that get bigger with my voice, or does that get bigger with a key change? Like, how do you go? Okay, how am I going to? And I think then later on you go, no, you might just kind of give it some more stank and some more runs, but you kind of put some more into it, don't you?
Yeah. You just kind of like. You kind of feel an emotional arc. Yeah. You can do it different ways too. You can, like right here, we're just doing solo.
Yeah.
But oftentimes I like to use the arranging possibilities of the band.
Oh, sure.
Because the band, I'm just blessed with an incredible band. And it's like, you can give so much shape to... Yeah, and
because sometimes you just have one note that come out for a second, and then people feel that absence. Like if you were to stop that for like 6 seconds, and then pick it up, we all felt that. Like we all felt that, like
Totally.
a little heartbeat. Like, ooh, we just, you know what I mean? Like
I like to break it down on this one too, because
really?
you can just do a little bass line.
Yeah.
And sometimes I quote other songs like,
Oh, do you?
like you're the cutest thing that I ever did see. I really love your peaches, wanna shake your tree. Stuff like that.
And the crowd would freak out. Like if you do that at like concerts in the plaza, people go like, oh, you know, because they're like, oh my God, we all had this moment where we became familiar with that song.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. Those moments that you think of on stage, do you think of them right then, or does your band know you're already going to do them?
You have both ways. Sometimes it's like they never know when I'm going to go into that.
Right.
And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I like to keep them on their toes, you know?
Yeah. Give me like the final chorus of this song if you were going to
Yeah.
like bring it home.
You can sing along too if you want.
Yeah.
Well, a one night stand turned into a 1 week stand, turned into a 1 month stand, turned into a 1 year stand. Now I'm standing here in front of you making one last stand. Baby, let's make this a one life stand. Baby, let's make this a one life stand. Baby, let's make this a one life stand.
So smooth. Your voice is so smooth. DamonCastillo.com. You could check out all of the songs, including, you could get the links to wherever you listen to music to check out Algorithm. We'll actually play it at the end of this in its entirety. It's a great song. We played it a little bit earlier during the conversation and kind of talked over a little bit. But you can get all the tour dates. I mean, from Mother's Day at Dinosaur Caves in Pismo Beach, that's on May 11th, literally on Mother's Day, to Castoro, then too, you do that one up there, packs it out. People parking all the way up on Las Tablas to hear you at Ventu. That's a beautiful venue. I love them.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun there.
Sea Pines Golf Resort, concerts in the Plaza. That's August 15th. That's a huge, that's a couple thousand of your closest friends too.
I love that. I love it. It's like being in the biggest living room, you know, just hanging with your friends and family.
And one thing we were talking about before is like, you don't do a whole lot of covers, do you? It's never really been like...
Yeah, I probably should do more. But no, like music for me has always been like I'll hear something and I might start off like, oh yeah, I should play that. And then I get a chord change or an idea and like, oh, I could write a song this, and I just make a left turn and I start writing my own stuff. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in. I've always loved hanging out with you.
Thank you, Adam.
I always love seeing you create, hearing you play, and then you're just such a great community member. The way you helped with like breaking and entering Christmas, and it was just awesome.
Thanks for having me.
It was so rad.
Yeah, thanks for having me there, and thanks for having me out today.
Yeah, thank you, brother. So new music, check out DamonCastillo.com. We'll put all the links in the show notes. And cheers, my man, to Damon Castillo. Thanks for being Up and Adam, brother.
Thank you.
Some say life's where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Well, check out the new single, Algorithm. It's out now, wherever you get your music. I got links in the show notes to his Spotify account. And after the show, after we wrap up, we're going to play it in its entirety, Algorithm. Pretty cool. I'll be making my way to the Travel Paso Roundup. This is so cool. The second year of doing this. Travel Paso, which is the tourism arm for the city of Paso Robles, obviously, are having a big afternoon that I am really excited to be emceeing that focuses on all the different hospitality partners, folks who are really making tourism and the hospitality business and excelling in it. You know, spotlighting distinguished leaders and listening to economists talk about the state of where tourism in Paso is. I could not be more excited. It's going to be a fun day full of a lot of information, a lot of friends, a lot of neighbors, a lot of great community leaders. And if you are going out, make sure you say hi. I'll be at the Travel Paso Roundup today. Pretty cool. Till tomorrow, where it will be Friday. Heck yeah, I am ready for the weekend, no doubt. Thanks to Moonshiner Collective for original music on the show called Start Again. To you for rating, reviewing, subscribing to this podcast. We were the number 2 show in Georgia yesterday and today. Well, I guess it still says number 2. And no, not the state. No, not the state. Georgia, the country. It's like by Turkmenistan. How the hell is Up and Adam the number 2 podcast on the daily news chart in Georgia, the country? No freaking idea, but we'll take it. So I'm raising a toast all the way from California to Tbilisi. I hope that's how you say it. And I want to say a huge magloba, which is thank you in Georgian. Till tomorrow, I'm Adam Montiel. Magloba. Thank you for being Up and Adam.
Some say life's where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again. Let's start again. We'll start again. Let's start again.
By avoiding all seduction. Oh no, but I'm the bug in your coat and I won't give up. Now I wanna upload all my real love for you. You can have my information, yeah. Baby, we're all working for the algorithm, but it ain't working for me. Oh no, baby, we're all working for the algorithm, but it ain't working no for me. I've got to be free, be who I wanna be. I'm gonna be me and not just a copy. Alright, okay, I want the real thing, I need the real thing, alright, yeah, okay, I want the real thing.